What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is gonna be your review for Queen Sugar, season 4, episode 7. Now, look, here's the thing: the Borderlands are under attack. Okay, they are under attack, and it's coming from all angles. Right? They don't even know where some of these attacks are coming from because it's what by the end we figure it out. But it's just coming from all angles. So let's start at the beginning. Nova is still on her book tour. She looks like she was doing a show for you guys remember, or if you don't remember, you need to check this series out. Henry Louis Gates did a series about tracing your roots. I forget the name of it off the top of my head. I'm sure somebody will put it in the comments. But it looks like this was a show similar to that, where she's going to sit down with this historian, and they've done research and that kind of thing. And she's superstar status, baby. She's pulling up in her SUV. They opening the door. Somebody taking her purse. Somebody taking her jacket. She's being greeted at the door like the superstar that she is, baby. Oh, she is living the life. Do you hear me? She gets into her dressing room, and the producer says to her, she says, "Look, we found some information while doing our research." Because at first I didn't understand what the show was at first. At first I was like, what they doing? I was like, I know she's not doing like a little tabloid type show. But they show her the information and they said, we would like your permission to present this. And Nova is immediately affected. And she says no. She said, my book traces the matriarchal side of my family, not the patriarchal. And so, no, we will not use this information. So whatever it is, there's something on her father's side that is very damning. That she is like, no, you will not. Now, I don't know what it is, baby, but it got her shook. Whatever it is, shook her. So they end up doing the show, but they still find some information that she didn't have in her book. Now, in her book, she says she was the last surviving member on her mother's side, female on her mother's side, that if she doesn't have children, then it will die with her. But they found out that her mother had a cousin, I think, who lives in the area. And that, at one point in time, they reached out to her. She didn't get on the show. She wasn't going to come on the show, but they did reach out to her, and she confirmed that she is a relative and that she lives in the area, and that her and Nova's mother were very good friends at one time, even to the point of like sisters, but they were cousins or something. They were cousins or something to that effect, but they were related. And Nova's reaction is very positive. So I'm like, okay, that's totally different than whatever that information they show her at the beginning, baby. But Nova's reaction is very positive. She said, I've never been so happy to be wrong before. And so she's found a new family member. And especially in this moment where she don't have no family, I'm sure that was very comforting for her. Now on her way out, who did she run into? The cop, the white cop. The one she put in the book was the love of her life. And it was instant. You could see them sparks the minute they locked eyes, baby. Come to find out, he done divorced his wife. He done moved out of St. Joe's, and he done started his own security company. But we'll get back to that in a minute. Then we see. Oh, I'm sorry, got distracted. Then we see back to St. Joe's, over to the farm. Benny is getting arrested. And they supposedly found 20 bags of amphetamines in his car. And Ralph Angel was like, so y'all just happened to just pull him over for no reason. They said, oh, we got an anonymous tip. Ralph Angel was like, really? He said, yeah, there's a whole lot of this anonymous tips going on. He said, well, I have my cameras. Come to find out, his cameras have been tampered with. So they have no way of proving that somebody actually set Benny up, because the car was sitting there to see if anybody planted those drugs. But they know that's what went down. And Ralph Angel was like, Benny, I believe you. I know you didn't do nothing wrong. We're going to take care of it. So we see that happen. Then we have over to the diner. Hollywood's gone. He done went to visit his mama. And Vi is, doing stuff around the shop. She said, I never knew how much I missed. How much I missed having somebody like Hollywood to change light bulbs and do just the little knick-knack things. And her assistant, picks up on some drama. Her assistant knows something ain't up with the whole why Hollywood ain't there thing. But she was like, well, why don't you call Hollywood to help out? I'm sure he'll take care of that for you. And she was like, no, Hollywood's visiting his mom and he's good. He's taking care of that. So, and I'm sure his mama is loving this because remember his mama ain't even want her to marry Vi. Remember how that went down last season. So, or season before last. So they leave the shop. They lock up the diner. They leave the diner. Next thing you know, somebody's coming in with a bat and they totally destroy the diner. They tear the diner up, right? So there's that attack. So we got this attack, we got that attack. Now we see Charlie meets up with this black woman. Come to find out, she's the only black woman on the parish council for St. Thomas. Remember, St. Thomas is the other parish where the highway was supposed to go through, but then it changed and now it's going through St. Joe's. And Charlie is like, look, she said, well, I really was reluctant to meet with you. Charlie said, well, I appreciate that you met with me. She said, look, I'm gonna just give it to you straight. I don't have no interest in working with you. Like I just don't. I don't have no interest in working with you. Charlie said, but we have to work together to get this she said that highway was gonna save St. Thomas. And Charlie was like, exactly. So if you help me shut down the highway coming through St. Joseph, then we can fight to get the highway to come back through St. Thomas. Like that's why we gotta work together. She was like, look, I read your sister's book. And I'm not really feeling you. Charlie was like, look, that was a long time ago. That was a whole nother situation. That don't have nothing to do with this. Um, she said, but this, I don't understand. Now all of a sudden, she said, well, it's the Landrys. She said, but you were the Landrys, a couple of months ago. You had your shares and you were profiting off of all the dirt that they were doing. Now all of a sudden, we supposed to rah with you against the Landry. She said, look, I divested. I sold all my shares. I am no longer affiliated. She said, yeah, but you were. She said, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I would much rather be double crossed by one of them than one of my own. I said, okay. I mean, I can appreciate your honesty, boo. She gave it to Charlie straight with no chaser. I can appreciate your honesty. So we have that attack. The next day, Aunt Vi shows up for work, and of course, the diner is destroyed. And she's like, call the police. And once again, her assistant tells her, are you going to call Hollywood? She said, no, Hollywood's with his mother. We're good. Uh, Charlie shows up. What's going on? You going to call Hollywood? No, I'm not going to call Hollywood. And she finally confides in Charlie. She said, look, she said, are you and Hollywood good? She said, me and Hollywood are fine. She said, I'm the one with the problem. She said, I can't stand to be touched by the man I love because of the man I hate. I said, I know that is right. She said, my doctor thinks it's PTSD. And I promised Hollywood that I would get myself together before he came home. So, no, I'm not calling Hollywood because I can handle it. It ain't the first time that this has happened to me, and we'll get through it. So Charlie's kind of giving her the side eye, but she like, all right, y'all know somebody gonna call Hollywood. Ain't no way in hell that they ain't gonna call Hollywood, but that's another conversation. So now we got another attack going on. Darla is at work. She gets to work and the book is on her chair and it's turned to the page about her chapter. So they at work they done figured out that she is Star and they all snickling and giggling. Other thing I noticed that she looked like she the only black woman in this office building. She calls Ralph Angel. I mean she confronts it. You know what I mean? She throws the book away and she kind of lets them know, holds her head up. But then she calls Ralph Angel. Ralph Angel don't answer the phone. I said, oh Lord. See, this is what's gonna push Darla. I hope that we see later on in the episode that she does reach out to her sponsor, the guy she's dating. And he tells her that she needs to really talk to her sponsor because he was like, I'm no longer unbiased in the situation, so it can't be me. But you need to really reach out to your your sponsor. You do. You need to reach out to your sponsor. But her first inclination was to call Ralph Angel, and he didn't answer the phone. So, that already tells you where her mind is as far as who's going to help her. Nova ends up going out to lunch with the cop, and they talk and catch up. And, again, you see the sparks are there. I mean, the whole time they looking at each other, and then they start talking about, well, you were the love of my, and I was this, and this was going on, and this was going on. They doing that whole catch up thing. They go out and play pool. And Nova confides in him, she said, look, I've lost my family. She said, nobody is speaking to me. She said, and as the weeks turn into months, I fear that that's it. And he tells her, he said, that ain't gonna happen. He said, it's too much love in your family. He said, even ain't Vi? She said, even ain't Vi. And she said it like the way she said it, I took it as like she acting like she don't understand why. Did you know why they ain't speaking to you? I'm sorry. Anyway, so um, I'm gonna just go on and finish them out because Nova got holes in different area codes. I mean, she just everywhere she go. Here come another skeleton. Here come another skeleton. Her closet is full, and you worried about everybody else's closet. Every time you go look up, you go to a new city, you find another hole. I don't understand it. Nova, damn, Nova. Next thing you know, the black guy she dated out of Atlanta, he gonna pop up somewhere. All of them popping up. But anyway, they end up pretty much spending the day together. When they get back to the hotel room, I was expecting them to go on up in the hotel and get it in, but they didn't. They left it there, and but they hugged each other and was like, keep in touch. But again, you could tell that both of them were kind of hesitant. You could tell again. You could tell that the love was there. That the love was there. They had this love for each other. The next day he shows up before she leaves and he lets her know. He was like, look, I ain't really ready to say goodbye. Like, I love you. All that mushy, mushy, love you, love you, love you. Let's make this work. And Nova says, I realized that passion was never our issue. We had that down. We had the physical down, but the mental, she said, so we need to make sure that we're on the same wavelength. Like I'm scared of this not working. And he said, I am too. She said, last time it about broke my heart. He said, it did break me. He said, but I'm a better person because of it. He said, and I will take that pain again. I will risk that pain again rather than live with the regret of not trying with you again. But it looks like they're going to kind of take it slow. I mean, they kissed and stuff like that, but they kind of left it at that. Back to St. Joe's. So over to the diner. Prosper shows up, and as soon as Mr. Prosper showed up and the other farmer showed up, and as soon as they showed up, Prosper was like, all right, get some trash bags, do this, do that, let's go. He started organizing. I knew then. I said the whole damn town about to show up at Aunt Vi. They love Aunt Vi. They love her. And I said the whole town about to show up and they about to get that thing together. And sure enough, Aunt Vi got done talking to Charlie and she looks up and the whole diner is well, something else happened. We'll get to that. But everybody is there cleaning up. I got ahead of myself. I'm gonna come back though. And then Vi acts so surprised, and I'm like, boo, they love you. They love you. You got them same regulars that been coming since that what was the name of the other restaurant before it was Aunt Vi's. You know what I mean? And of course, people are kind of asking about Hollywood. Where's Hollywood? Why Hollywood ain't here? That whole he with his mama ain't gonna last long because everybody know that Hollywood would drop everything if he felt like Vi was in trouble. So we know that this ain't right. Ralph Angel, they've posted bail for Benny. Benny's back at the house. But guess what? Ralph Angel got a weapon now. He can go to somebody other than Charlie to get help. His girlfriend, the lawyer. And so they're talking about basically, that whole case and that they're under attack and that this is a setup and it didn't happen and that Benny's innocent. And Benny is just done. I mean, he won't eat. He is so, and one thing that Ralph Angel said to him, I mean, he told Ralph Angel, but they were trying to talk to him because he was in the phone. You could see he was depressed and he wasn't eating and he just wasn't responding when they were talking to him. And he looked at Ralph Angel and he said, I don't know what I'd do without y'all. And just Ralph Angel's reaction, the response. So, I just, it was a moment. But the lawyer is like, look, this is what I do. This is what I'm here for. We're going to get this straight. We're going to get Benny, we're going to get him off. We're going to figure this out. They know it's bogus and they know this is all from the Landrys. They know all of this is coming, or that's what they believe, that it's all these attacks are coming from the Landrys. Later on in the episode, she comes back to Ralph Angel and she says, look, they want to review your grant for your reentry program. And potentially you could lose your grant. Potentially the program could shut down. She said, but I'm not going to let that happen. But the first thing we have to do is prove that Benny's innocent. Once we prove that it was a setup and that Benny was innocent, then that ammunition for review sort of goes out the window. Because basically what they're trying to say is that this reentry ain't working if people dealing drugs from the farm, right? And like Ralph Angel said, he said, "Well, I don't have no proof. You know, they done messed with my camera." She said, "We gotta prove that." She has a very Charlie spirit about her. I'm seeing like up until this point, we've seen her in flirt mode. We see her in work mode, and she's like, "Oh no, this ain't about to happen. Not on my watch. We're going to get this done." She has a very, and now I see that. I see why Roz really attracted to her because she does. She has a very Charlie spirit about her that we just gonna take care of business and we're gonna get it done. Shout out to L Teddy. I know you're gonna be talking trash. I know you're gonna be calling that woman all kinds of ugly, but you better not disrespect that she out there hustling and she look like she's doing her thing. Um, y'all know Charlie always got an end. So she reached out to a friend of hers, I guess is like a private investigator, and he was able to because even though Aunt Vi didn't have camera footage, she said she didn't think she needed it. The stores around her, the pharmacy around her does, and they have three different cameras to get angles. And one of the cameras is directly in the sight of the diner. And what they find out or what they see is that there's been a man taking pictures of the diner. They have cameras of him because he went back 2 weeks. They have cameras of him. They have pictures of him on 2 different days taking pictures. And what Charlie identifies, she realizes that that's the consultant that was with Jacob that time she went to visit Jacob, and Jacob told her to come outside because he didn't want the hold on y'all, sorry about that. So they realized that he's the consultant, and he's been taking pictures of Vi's diner, and she's like, why are we taking pictures of Vi's diner, like what is that about? But then they get a picture of the person who actually vandalized the diner, and come to find out it's Joaquin's son. Remember, Joaquin was the one who worked on the farm who got caught up in that ice raid, him and his son. So she was like, well, and so Charlie was like, well, why would he destroy the diner? Like, what is the connection there? And so Ralph Angel was like, look, we can't call the police on this family. Like, they already got mama, father and son are already gone, about to be deported. The mama can't take no more. Like, we just can't do it. So Charlie's like, you know what? I know who I can reach out to. I know who I can talk to. So, she went to the priest, the guy from last week, the guy that's the priest in the community. And they get the family, they bring the little boy in. Well, he ain't a little boy, he's a teenager. They bring him in with the mom and with the priest. And basically he explains, look, they came to me, they offered me $500 to do it. I said no. But then they told me they were going to deport my mother, that the same thing was going to happen to my mother that happened to my father. And so I did it. He said he paid me to throw the rock in your headquarters, and he paid me to destroy the diner. Um, so she showed him a picture of the consultant. She said, "Is this the guy that paid you?" And he said, "Yeah, that's him." He said, "Well, he's a consultant for the Landrys." And the priest was like, "Hold up, I know him. He don't work for the Landrys. He works for the gas company." And Charlie was like, "Well, wait a minute." He said, "Yeah, he was in town last year trying to buy up a bunch of land from my parishioners, and he was for cheap. He was trying to take advantage of them, and I kind of, told him to stay away." She said, "So wait a minute, let's figure this out." So now all the pieces are starting to come together for Charlie. Charlie don't take her long to figure this stuff out. She said, "So this company," she said, "this company is known for just drilling and going." She said, "So that was happening. They want to start fracking. They want to start fracking in this area, looking for natural gases and all that kind of stuff. And y'all know fracking is horrible. Once they start fracking, it tears up the land, it tears up the communities, and then they take what they want and then they leave. They don't, So then the communities are torn up. So what it seems like, they looking at Vi's Diner, so maybe they feel like Vi's Diner is sitting on top of some precious soil, either that or they just know that's how they could get to Charlie. Whatever their reasons were, I ain't figured that part out yet. But what we figure out is, because she goes to Jacob and she says to Jacob, look, I done got this thing about halfway figured out. I just need you to finish it up for me. And so she cozying all up to Jacob, being all sexy and seductive, because y'all know Jacob Love is in love with Charlie. And she's like, I realized why I've been fighting you so hard. Well, he said, Charlie, what's the catch? She said, we running against each other. She said, politics, people have been known to make arrangements to get what they want and what they need. And he was like, well, what's the catch? And she picks up a folder that has Old World. That's the name of the company. And his whole face dropped. She said, oh, so they are coming to St. Joe. She said, tell me all about it. And come to find out, what had happened was, while they were surveying the land for this prison that they were trying to build, they found the natural gases. And that's why they caved so easily on the prison, because at that point it was like, shoot, we're better off going with this situation than with this prison. And the highway is for them to be able to build up industry around these natural gases and to bring the equipment in and out of town. And Jacob was like, look, my mama teamed up with them and you lost this war a long time ago. You just ain't know. He said at this point, it's all about picking. He said it ain't black or white, Charlie. This is winners and losers. And you lost. Like, it is what this is gonna happen. It's big business, it's big industry, it's, we talking about natural gases and oil and stuff. You're gonna lose this fight, Charlie. And so she hands him the folder because I guess he thought that she already had all this information in the folder. He opens up the folder and it's just a post-it inside that says thanks. I said, oh, she done set his ass up. He says, Charlie, you're not gonna make a fool out of me. She said, it's too late. So he done gave Charlie everything she needed to know. Now the question is, how's she gonna stop it? Charlie being Charlie, she said, you know what? It's time to take this to the streets. So what she ends up doing, she does end up, because the lady, I'm sorry, I forgot that part. The politician at the beginning told her, if you figure out why they really changed and moved that highway from St. Thomas to St. Joe's, then we can talk about something. So she went back to her, and now she's got the community, because she's got the Latino community, because now the priest is all in with this whole situation with them trying to buy up the land from his parishioners. She's got St. Thomas City Council, well, at least part of the city council. And of course, she already had the community already. And so they did a silent protest wearing t-shirts that had different words that were from the I guess the mission statement for the state of Louisiana. And she called the media and gave them the whole breakdown of what was going on and how big gas was trying to come in and frack in the community and how they were going to take a stand against it. And she said, look, this ain't about my campaign. This is about me saving my town. I don't want to confuse the two. It's about me saving my town. And it was great. It went, of course it went viral. It was a great thing. It was really good. Everybody was all happy. We'll get to why that ain't, we're going to get to why, it didn't work out. We're going to get there in a second. It worked out, but we're going to get to what happened at the end. All right, y'all, just running long, so real quick, let me finish this up. Darla and her and Nick. I touched on this earlier, but I just want to say this part of it. Darla called Ralph Angel, then she called Nick. She's still leaning into men to solve her problems because Nick told her, call your sponsor, and her sponsor is a woman. Call Marlene. And Darla took that as he was trying to say she was weak. She's like, I'm not weak. I'm just upset. She said, I called you. He said, yeah, and I'm telling you to call your sponsor. That's who can help you. So I don't know, y'all. We're gonna see where this goes with Darla. I just feel like we're gonna see Darla with a pipe in her hand in about 2 episodes, and I hate to see it. James is gonna give it to her. Shout out to James Caldwell, because y'all know how he feel about Darla. And if you don't, go watch his reviews. James Caldwell. So Charlie takes Joaquin's son over to meet with Vi. She says, "Look, Vi, we can't involve the police in this. I know you're upset, but I need you to hear him out, and so he can tell you his story." Now he didn't do a good job of telling Vi his story. He was like, it wasn't me. I mean, it was me, but that's not me. I mean, I was doing it to save my mother. Vi said, "Look, just stop before I change my mind." And Vi went old school with him, which is what I knew she was gonna do. The minute Charlie took him to her, I knew what Vi was gonna do. Vi said, "Look, we're gonna do this old school. You're gonna work here 3 days a week to work this off." And that was when she came out and she saw the whole the part I already told you guys about, where the whole community was helping her clean up. And he jumped right in, and his mama was there, and of course they were very appreciative that they didn't include the police. And I understand why they didn't. Let the insurance take care of it and y'all deal with it, because again, you already know where that's going, what direction that's going in. So anyway, that's where we are with all of this. So at the very end, Charlie and Micah at the house, everybody's happy. Like I said, that the whole thing that went viral. Then all of a sudden, her phone starts blowing up. Her cell phone's blowing up. She said the house line. She said nobody calls my landline. What's going on? She answers the phone and she loses it. I mean, because it was Ralph Angel. She loses it. The mill is on fire. So, y'all, we're going to see where this whole thing picks up next week. But, baby, they under attack. And it's coming. Every time they think they didn't put out one fire, here go another one, literally. Let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments. Peace.